Last week I told a story about virtue rewarded, which is one of my favorite kinds of stories. And here's another story about virtue rewarded. And this was a story that a friend told me about something that happened to her. Now, this friend of mine truly is the nicest, kindest, most thoughtful person in the world. Incredibly nice and thoughtful. And so she told me something that had happened to her. She was in an airport getting ready to fly someplace, and she happened to notice, because she's the nicest, kindest, and most thoughtful person in the world, that a person in a wheelchair had been wheeled by the, like the airport personnel and left at the gate, and then the flight was postponed for an hour and a half, and so this woman was just there in this wheelchair, by herself, waiting by the gate. And so my friend walks over and says, I'm going to go to the little store, so, would you like me to get you something while I'm there? And the woman was like, yeah, it'd be great if you could give me a bottle of water. And so my friend did. And so then they get onto the plane an hour and a half later, and my friend's getting ready to take her seat, and she notices that sitting next to her is this elderly woman, and she's talking to her adult daughter who's in the row ahead, and they're speaking in Chinese. The mother doesn't speak English, and the daughter is clearly trying to say something like, it's okay, like, I'm right here in front of you, so don't worry, like, even though we're not sitting together. And so my friend says to her, like, oh, do you want me to move so that you can sit next to your mother? And the woman's like, yeah, that'd be so great, thank you so much. And so my friend moves, and she sits down in the new aisle, and she sits herself down, and the woman sitting next to her looks over in a very sort of stern, forbidding woman, and says, I make it a rule never to speak to anyone on an airplane. But I just want to say that I saw you commit 2 unprovoked acts of kindness. And then she didn't say anything else. That was it. And I thought, I love that, because I love to see virtue rewarded. I'm so glad that my friend saw that somebody knew and appreciated what she had done. Not that that's why she did it. I mean, she just did it unthinkingly, because that's the kind of person she was. But it's lovely to get your gold star. And this story reminds me of 2 things. First, I walk around in a daze. I never notice anything that's happening right in front of me. So I think to myself, I should pay attention, and not just to respond nicely when somebody asks me for a favor or something, but really try to be awake for an opportunity to do something little and nice for someone else. And then also, if I see somebody doing something especially nice, it's nice to give them a gold star. It's nice to tell them, that was really great that you did that. It's nice to be appreciated.